Let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright, people wanna hate every day, it's okay.
All right, welcome back, Reckless Success. Tonight we've got Chris Boland on from Texas.
Yes, sir.
Chris, thanks for coming. Chris has also been through a bunch of stuff like my stories and most of the people that I have on. So Chris come from Texas he's actually ex-celly of my buddy Teddy, who won't come on yet. I'm warming him up.
Scary ass.
Right, he'll bring his ex-celly on, but he still won't come on.
Yeah, no worries.
So, anyways, yeah, this is the first time I've had another person that's been through the same situation actually on. So, we'll just dig in and find out how your story is. We talked before a little bit about what I had going on and just a little bit really, but where I was. And the funny thing is I'm from Southern Illinois, and whenever I got shipped out of Maxwell, which was a camp, then another guy from here pretty much took my spot, and that's my new buddy Teddy that I met since I've been home. I might have known you a little bit before, but it was all a blur.
Yeah.
So,
Most things in my 20s, same.
I know it. I say it all the time. Them 20s are hard on us.
Yeah. I'll be glad to reach 50 next year, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Get
Maybe the
behind
50s
me.
would be a little bit easier.
Hope so.
So my story was from a meth charge whenever I was coming out of high school. I never graduated high school, but in the later high school years, I got into meth and then ended up dealing and cooking for 4 or 5 years. Got completely off of it. I was sober for 4.5 years, and the feds kicked in my door. And somebody had told me that was in prison, hey, the feds came asking about you 2 weeks ago. And I'd never even had a county picked up and go to jail charge. I'd never been caught with dope, nothing. And I was like, man, I don't believe that. I don't want to hear that. You know, that was so long ago. I had a good job and things were going good. So about 2 weeks later, the U.S. Marshals kicked in my door. The guy wasn't lying. and I ended up getting indicted. So for me, I went from never being in a jail at all to waking up over here in Carbondale, which is our local place.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what in the hell have I gotten into? And I had had buddies at the time that got indicted, and they were getting 20, 30 years. And I'm like, oh, shit, I've done. Indictment's a big word, you know. So
Oh, yeah.
they definitely rattle your cage a little bit when they say it.
They made it so many letters for a reason, I think. Yeah,
Right.
It's supposed to put a little fear into you. Yeah, mine was totally different. Like, I did graduate high school, played sports in college, graduated college,
Okay.
and used my degree for the totally wrong thing.
What'd you go to
And
college for?
business, sports management.
Sports
Finance,
management.
yeah.
Traded
I
it
mean,
to something else.
Sure did. And
Had you
wasn't
ever-
intended to work out that way, but it did. And
Did you ever use any drugs?
of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
And
experimenting and
well, no, it wasn't it was way past experimental
Right.
at some point. Yeah, it was started to cause mistakes and made it end up pretty fortunate that at that point where they finally put me away, they probably should have.
What was your charges?
Conspiracy to distribute and trafficking.
Yeah, that conspiracy's a tough one.
Yeah, you
They
can't.
made that.
You
and they
can't
just,
fight it.
That's
Yeah.
all they throw out. They're
Right.
like, "Oh, conspiracy for you." It's like that Oprah thing. You know,
Right.
she's just passing them out. They come to town. All right, here's
Right.
a little group we can get. Let's throw them all in jail. So
Yeah, they went through. Like I lived in Fort Worth at the time, but they went through the little community where I'm from and just involved me in that. Which, I mean, I deserved it.
yeah.
It
Do you happen to
wasn't
know a guy
worth-
named Jeffrey Brown from Texas? He might be from Fort Worth now that he said Fort
Fort
Worth.
Worth's huge.
I think it was Fort Worth. I said Austin. My celly was from Fort Worth, and I've been trying to find him, but they took me away in the middle of the night where I could get all his information.
Yeah, it's good luck finding anybody in Texas. Like,
That's what I'm
it'd
having
take you
trouble
2
with.
days to drive through it. So
Yeah, I typed in
Yeah.
Jeffrey Brown, Texas, and like 2,000 people popped
Yeah.
up. I was like, oh,
for sure, unless they're like from a small town
right.
or if you have good
They
social
were
media.
he did get a kingpin charge. I thought that would help me. I typed that in, and still, I ain't having any luck. Did you know
Well,
Jeffrey Brown at Maxwell? The nicest guy there. No, he was the dental assistant. Did you ever go in there? No. Damn, he probably already moved on.
Same Daniel from. Yeah, I'll be damned.
Ain't that funny? In prison, they've got like, you'll have a dentist come in, but then, in most of them, I guess, they have a dental assistant that's an inmate that was doing, where I was at a camp, he was doing like a dental assistant's course, I guess, or he was getting hours for, Department of Labor. And my buddy, I'd go in there and he'd clean my teeth and stuff. I'm like, all right, he'd done all the work too. He was like, took it super serious. Whoever the dental assistant guy is, he ain't fucking around. He's being on the books and getting it right.
Teeth are important.
Yeah. We were talking about that a little bit. You have different guys in prison. You'll have some that are so straight laced they don't want to do anything, and then you got some that are just wild as hell. You'll be like, hey, you want to go stand, behind the guard shack and smoke a cigarette? And they're like, fuck yeah, you got a cigarette? So it's just a complete difference. I remember Sam was my first cellie, and like first week, I'm like tallying days. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm just, trying to keep track. He's like, forget that. And it took me probably a year of like thinking how bad this sucks to get adjusted to where I didn't think about it no more. I did say multiple times, I want to go home. Like, me and my buddies be sitting around and I'm like, I want to go home. This place sucks. But I got used to it.
Yeah.
You were there for a while, so.
The court process and all that took like 30 months.
Oh, so you're.
For me, so.
You were
I
used to
had
it
been
when you
between federal holdings and counties and things like that, that by the time I got to Texarkana and I could actually
you could breathe,
take 2 steps.
Right.
Yeah, I was over it by then.
Yeah.
I was settled in, but
yeah,
that whole process, having so many court deals to go to, it took forever. And those are the worst. I mean,
right. I tell stories. I'd wake up like, I don't know, I'd been there for at least 6 months or so, and I'd still have dreams that I'm at home or I'm doing stuff, and I'd open my eyes and there was an exit sign like right past my cell, or we had cubes right past it, and I'm like, I'd open my eyes and I'd see that exit sign and remember where I was and be like, oh fuck, I thought I was home. I was like, mama was making me dinner and everything, but here I am.
yeah, I mean, for me, like, luckily my parents and sister and, the few people that I should have kept in contact with, they would. So
Right. Yeah.
it made it okay. I didn't want them to come see me at that point because, like, I was so far away and visits were so short. But once I got to the federal units, they came all the time.
Get that big ass cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's what it
big ass chicken in the vending
big
machine.
AZ. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or no, I'm not even gonna say it.
It'd get
Embarrass
bad.
Teddy. But yeah,
My parents.
visitation was good back then.
My parents would come down. They'd drive like 9 hours to come see me, and by 2 o'clock, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm gonna get back. I got shit going on, or I gotta start making dinner or
Right.
whatever it is. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go on. I'm like, well, not that I don't want to see you, but like, I got stuff happening here. We got a game that's playing, or
Right.
NASCAR's on.
If they came like during soccer weekend,
Yeah,
yeah, it interfered with.
right.
But I mean, so be it.
One time I had I don't know, it was a Christian outreach program, and I'm just bored, right? So I see this like flyer, and it's like, sign up. Some dude will come see you. Bobby. No, not Bobby. He would though, but just like that probably. Oh yeah. And I signed up, and this dude shows up. I'm just like, hey man, did you bring any money for them big ass cheeseburgers? He's like, no. I was like, hey, you got to bring money, dude. Like $5-10, get some sandwiches. So he'd come see me, and he'd bring a little money. I'd eat my cheeseburger, and he'd talk. I'd be like, all right, come back in a month. Yeah, my visits were only like maybe 2-3 a year,
Yeah,
like every few months.
my parents would come. I think we ended up basically like once a quarter,
Yeah,
something like
works
that.
out good then. And then
Especially when my niece was born, they would bring her
right.
a couple times a year so I could see her. But it worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
And we had our own thing. Like, time flew by, especially got to the camp and working all week, and
right.
it
It goes by.
yeah.
Did you feel like when you got home, like it never happened? Like not that it never happened, but after a year or so, I'm like looking back, I'm like, dude, that block of time seems like it was so small or went by so fast and it's just gone.
Until somebody would like bump into me from behind at the grocery store or the convenience store, and I would flip out.
Right.
Yeah.
Flip their card over.
Well, yeah, because I've never been a fan of like somebody reaching over me or
Right.
anything like that. And there were a few times that were kind of scared the shit out of
There is a
my
lot of
future wife or my parents where I would like,
right.
yeah.
There's a lot of things in prison that you don't do and you learn when you get in there, but it's actually more respectable, I'd say, like washing your hands after you use the bathroom. I go to the gas station or something, I'm pissing, and like three guys walk out. They just zoom right for the door, and I'm like, that is so disgusting. I guess prison taught me how to wash my hands. I don't know if I didn't know that before, but now, like, anytime I use the bathroom, I'm in there washing my hands. I'm like kicking the door. But yeah, it was a lot cleaner than I expected.
Yeah, it was. And my
You know?
wife's she's gonna laugh when we watch this because like she times me sometimes when I go to the restroom at home and turn the water on to see if I've used soap or not.
Right.
Yeah. So
She's like, are you sure you took a shower?
it's just funny, but yeah, it was. I mean, like I said, my experience was way more peaceful than probably a majority of
Right.
inmates because I went to low security. I mean, I was old, not
Yeah.
old, but
I feel like you got to get on up into I think state level is more like gladiator type stuff. I mean, the feds are usually people that have been doing some sort of a racket. You know what I mean? They got some sense. There are
it was an
crazy
older
dudes.
crowd.
Yeah,
Like-
but a lot of them are level headed and got some sort of sense to get into the feds, or they would have been locked up in
At
the state joints.
Yeah, they didn't have a good enough lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's one thing I noticed in there was there's like two types, guys that wouldn't do nothing or guys that would. And I remember my cellie, he was straight laced because he'd been in 15 years. So he'd worked his way down to this camp. He did not want to fuck up and go anywhere. So one day I come across a carton of cigarettes, and you know those little green coats that they give you? I went in and I cut my lining, I put it all in there, I had it hanging up. Well, then all of a sudden the block gets hot. Everybody's coming to get cigarettes. You know, I'm selling them two for one, whatever it is. And my celly's freaking out, man. He's like, "Oh, you can't be doing that here." And I was like, "I'll take the charge. You know, if they say they find it, I'll say it's mine." He did not like it. I ended up moving because dude didn't want to fucking party. I was sitting there. I'm like, I'd get drunk at night. We'd drink, even though I was at a camp. At first, we didn't have actual liquor. Towards the end, we upgraded to actual liquor, so we were making hooch. But I worked in facilities too as the emergency electrician. So we would go up where the dryer vents were and store it all up there, and I could go back and get it a week later. And me and my buddies, we spent a good 6 months just drinking. We started out, we would just need one bottle, like the little bottle about, I don't know, I don't even think it's 20 ounces, 16-ounce bottle. One of those would, or I think a half of one would fuck us up. And by the end, we were making like 7 gallons a week and just drinking. But then we started losing people out of our car. They'd get caught drinking.
Yeah.
And we had one CO that was, we called him Sugar Britches because he twitched when he walked.
Yeah.
And he caught my cellie drinking downstairs, and I was wasted. And I come back to my cell, my cube, because where I was at, you could just run around the dorm at night as long as you were there at count, you know, you could just roam around. And I come back and I'm drunk and I'm in my rack. I got the cover over and I hear him come up and he's going through, and I was like telling myself, I had done ate like a jar of peanut butter right when I got back because of breathalyzer. And I'm like, don't say nothing, act like you're asleep, but I'm too drunk. And I was like, Mom, I couldn't help it, dude. I was too fucking curiosity got the cat. And the CO's like, oh, Jesse, your cellie got caught drinking. And I was like, oh, he's a piece of shit anyways. I was like, those are my tunas he has in his locker, sir. don't send that with him.
Yeah, I was the opposite, man.
You kept it.
I just kind of
kept it
did
straight.
what I was told. Yeah, I bucked at the county jail big time, like.
See, I went
first, but other than that,
right.
I was like, man, I just want to go home.
Yeah. I went backwards. I was at the camp. I ended up going to Atlanta Then I had to go to Oklahoma, and I was designated for Yazoo, but I guess it filled up right before I got to go from Atlanta. So they designated me to Montgomery, West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Or no,
Morgantown,
West Virginia, which was a low, but right when I went there, they basically made it a camp. And I get there, and it's like the same thing I left. I was in the hole for like 8 to 9 months there, going, all through the county, because our hole was the county at the camp.
Right.
And I finally get back, and I think I'm going to a low, and I get there, and there's like a creek running through the place, little bridges. Fucking groundhogs would take fireballs, and they'd hold them and lick them and roll them until they got down to a little nub.
Yeah.
It was peaceful. I liked it.
I'd watch that. Yeah, I would watch that.
How long did you end up getting?
Originally was 240 months, and then reduced to 168. And then Obama's crack law got me where I did 12.
That's good. Isn't it fucked up when they tell you the months? Because, you think they would tell you the years, but instead they're like,
no,
240 months.
They want to punish you, yeah.
Yeah, and you got to sit there and think up in your head, do quick math, 224 months, 12. You're like, fuck, that's a long time.
I'm pretty good at math, especially when it's divisible by 12. But,
yeah.
But, yeah, it was a shock. And, like I said, the judge said I'll give you 240. I want to give you life. And
damn.
I'm like, yeah, but you can't because you're not in charge. So, whatever. I was a dick at that point, but I was too young.
Ask him how old he was when he got indicted.
How old were you when you got indicted?
Got indicted?
Yeah.
26.
26.
Went in at 28. Tough. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, what happened when you got home? So how was your transition after 12 years? Did you went to a halfway house? Or did
I did. I went to right outside of Dallas, I think Wilmer Hutchins area.
Did you like it? I wanted to go back when I got to the halfway house.
It was not great compared to the camp. But I only had to do like 2.5 months because my release got delayed a little bit for some reason. So the 6 months got pushed back. And then after a few weeks, they let me go look for a job.
Right.
Supposedly. I just took the bus into downtown and went and worked out. And then they made me get one. So probably the coolest job I ever had. It was at the Sheraton, downtown Dallas. I cleaned rooms.
Right.
I loved it. Put my headphones on. I cleaned 17 rooms in like 8 hours.
You ever find anything cool?
Fast as fuck.
Anybody ever leave anything? You're like, damn.
No, they would leave you money and stuff, but I would just give it to the other people. Like, I was just there to kill time.
Right.
Because I got to leave the halfway house at 3 a.m. I could go work out for a few hours. Go work. I would get done faster than everybody. I'd go work out for a few hours and then go back.
That was pretty lenient. Our halfway house sucked. You had to go to work, and it was pretty much, I was in Evansville, and the Evansville halfway house pretty much has like three companies in town that are hiring the guys there. So like they knew the guy that is your boss. If like I wasn't from there, so I just need a job, and they're like, well, you're gonna go to this recycling place. So I had a hard time like not going to work and back, or if they would give me a little bit of time in the evenings. But one time I came in, just got off work. I'm sober as can be, clean. I ain't got nothing in my system. I'm straight laced, and I come in from work, and I go straight into the bathroom, and I piss. And I'm standing there, and as I'm pissing, the door opens, and the halfway house guy's like, May, you got a drug test. And I'm like draining out at this point. Yeah. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me.
Hand it over.
Well, I just pissed. I just emptied out. And they give you 1 hour to piss, or it's considered a dirty. So I'm like, you're shitting me. Well, at the time, I kind of had to shit too. I just got in from work. I had some snacks on the way in. I kind of got to shit. So this guy's like, now he's with me, and I'm trying to piss in this cup, and I am pushing and pushing, and I'm like farting a little bit, And I'm like, dude, I'm about to shit my pants. I was like, I got to shit. But if I shit, maybe I could piss a little bit, because I was down to like 5 minutes left. I had tried. I was like drinking water. I'm like, take me to the doctor and take blood. I was like, let's go to the hospital. And they're like, no, it's got to be a urine. And if you don't do it,
pull a hair.
Yeah, something. Whatever. I'm like, I'm clean. So here I am sitting on the shitter, shitting. And I finally pissed. This guy's standing here with me. And I'm just like, like a couple dribbles came out and I filled it up. I was like, there. So yeah. halfway house sucked. I never had to deal with that in prison.
Yeah, it wasn't a great experience, but I knew it was only for a few months and I was
Right.
going home. So like I said, I made the best of it.
And
You
then when
know,
you got from the Sheridan, where'd you go for work from there?
I went home back to the small town we live in Texas and got a night shift job at a factory
Mm-hmm.
just to start, just to be away. You
Right.
know, it kept me, working. It was 12-hour shifts, but then, you sleep all day, go work out, and go to work.
Right.
It was good for a while, but it wasn't a lot of money. And did that and kind of just working up to what I was
Figuring out what
aiming
it is you're
for.
wanting to
Yeah. And then started doing the remodel and flooring and construction stuff and got fortunate and, met my wife.
Is
Or
that
re-met my wife. We went to high school together,
ah,
but met her and then, kept doing what I was doing. And then her brother and my stepkid's uncle worked for the oil field company that I work for now. So
okay?
yeah.
So now you work in the oil field
Yep.
as a mechanic, or
Field service.
yeah?
Yeah.
Is there a lot
Kind
of
of all
oil field
encompassing.
work down in Texas? I
Oh,
mean, I hear
yeah.
about it, but I've
Oh,
never
yeah,
seen it.
yeah.
It's like a myth.
Texas, yeah.
Loaded with it.
Well, West Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot up in Ohio and Pennsylvania too, and West
Right.
Virginia. That's where I'm coming back from right now,
Okay.
driving home. So,
Would you say that finding a good woman when you got home kind of helped you get on a better path? Like for me, I was pretty content just,
man,
not doing much whenever it was just me.
man, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I don't know how to, but actual like relationship stuff, I never thought about when I was young because I was so busy doing what I was doing. I mean, I know I probably had what you would say a girlfriend or two, but just never really crossed my mind. And I mean, I knew what I was doing was going to lead to where I was going, so kind of kept it off to the side. But yeah, it did help, and she's badass, Teddy, and they've met her, and man, fortunate, don't deserve it. I have 3 stepkids, and now I have 2 grandchildren, and
Right.
very fortunate.
It
And
gives me a big purpose. I know that when I've got my family compared to when I didn't have my family.
of course,
Well, I guess I had a family before, but it was I was sober when I had my family before. I never had a family while I was strung out. It definitely helps knowing what I've got to lose or what they've got to lose if I mess up again, which I'm not going to mess up again.
right.
I learned a few things from the last time, so
And I had good structure. Like my mom and dad are college professors. Or my mom was in the high school and or I guess grade school levels or junior high
you
school.
started off. You said my mom was a professor.
She
or
was
in
no,
high school. He got all the way down to
sorry.
elementary school.
Well, no, she is now. But
She's
my
a
dad,
preschool teacher.
my dad, my dad's been at Howard Payne since 1981, and my mom is now. But she started out in the
So you came from a good family. That
yeah.
you have siblings.
My sister, and she's a professor now at the same university.
There's always
She
got
tried
to
to be a
black
lawyer,
sheep.
but she didn't like it.
Somebody's got to push the luck. Hey, everybody's being too calm here. Let's find out what we can get into.
I mean, if you really want to break it down, I probably did better than all of them back then. But, I
Right.
mean, it just didn't.
You're just the one that got caught.
But is what it is. But yeah, everything worked out. Like I wouldn't. I mean, obviously, I would change the people I hurt and
Right.
some of the lives I may have ruined that I don't even know. But it all worked out. I wouldn't.
Did you do all your time in Texarkana? So you were there at the low, and then you moved to the camp
Yeah,
at
as far as
Texarkana?
Fed, yeah. After all the court stuff, yeah, it was all there.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you have buddies that went to camp like 2 years prior to you being able to go, and then all of a sudden you get over there and you're like, "Hey, Terry, I'm back,"
So they went, and
or would they go and come back?
no, there was no AC, and they're like,
Oh yeah.
no, like,
Damn, no AC.
and we're over like where we're at, dude. Like our day, we would go to work, go work out, and go play fuck whatever sport was going on at the time.
Would you guys have 5-minute moves or something like that, or was it like 5 or 10-minute moves?
10, yeah. To go out to the yard,
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty quick. But I mean, you knew when they were, and
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
I worked
used to it.
like commissary. Or I worked actually on the rec yard when I was there, so it wasn't hard. But you know, everything was structured to a point where I was okay at the low. But then once the AC was going in, yeah,
ready to get
I
over there.
bounced. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
because we had air down where we were at. You know,
Teddy run the store?
no,
No.
Teddy didn't.
Store guy always had all kinds of good shit, man. So the store
Then
guy,
the kitchen guys at the low were the people you.
that's who you want to hook up with.
Yeah.
Protein. We get that chicken. Tuna. They done us so dirty at the camp at Maxwell that, remember, they'd have those big cans of chicken and they'd make like chicken salad on Fridays or whatever day. Well, huh?
Hammer?
Yeah. Yeah, Hammer. These guys took so much, because there was like in a can of the chicken, like 1,000 grams of protein or something. And these guys took so much chicken that they started putting bread. They would tear up bread, like biscuits and gravy with bread. So you'd get your chicken salad and it would just be celery and bread. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And that went on for like 6 months. I'm like, we'd have to go to them and be like, come on, guys, give us a little bit of chicken. You can't take all the damn chicken.
You see it in the unit all night long.
Yeah, and these guys are all jacked up. You're like, come on, man. Yeah.
Benching 800 pounds.
Yeah, you got one car out here on the weight pile that just happens to work in the cafeteria that's benching 800 pounds. That's good shit.
Can't run the movie projector.
Right. And yep. With the popcorn. Sitting there eating it. Did you guys have a movie theater at the Low? What'd you think about that, Teddy? You showed up and we had a fucking movie theater at the prison.
Badass.
Our prison.
And I was privileged enough to,
Go whenever the fuck you wanted.
yeah, and then I get invited upstairs and shit. I'm like, hell yeah, bro, we were in there.
Oh yeah, you was up
We
there
were next in
projecting.
line.
Damn, you was up in the room.
Yeah.
Damn, you was eating that popcorn.
Yeah. And then you throw a little porn on there every once.
Right, they had
You
like,
feel weird because you got dudes sitting beside you.
it's all right though. You can
Go
refill that
downstairs.
spank
Give
bank.
me 1 second. I'm going down upstairs. Give me a second.
Just because you
Let me
brought
put this
that,
in my bank.
just because you brought that up.
Dude, that was the only way you could get me from watching sports at the Low was the Cinemax free weekend at the Low, and
Oh, down at the Mexican side, it was wild.
Oh yeah, the Mexicans go hard. So
I just went in my room, dude. I was so uncomfortable. Like,
the Puerto Ricans love each other for one. Like they're all hugging, squeezing ass.
Oh yeah, that's all.
Them Puerto
that's where they
Ricans.
at in Nashville.
And you can't understand what they're saying, but they're happier than fuck. They're screaming it out loud, and they're happier than fuck, and they're all fucking fucking happy as fuck. So, one of them one night, and I probably already told this story, but I'll tell it again because you guys are here. This little Puerto Rican comes over, and it's like night. So where I was, we didn't have the cells. We just had the cubes, like cinder block walls. And I don't know, it's like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and the little Puerto Rican comes over. Hey, Jesse, I got this jack mag. You want to see it? And I'm like, damn, you got a jack mag? Hell yeah, I want to see that son bitch. So he gives me a jack mag. So obviously I'm going to take the jack mag to the bathroom, right? I'm not going to go sit over with my cellies. So I go to the bathroom, and, you know, you go in, and there's like 3 stalls, and then we had curtains, and then you'd have the cleaner that you spray, and you set the cleaner down for when you're shit, and that way everybody knows that there's somebody in there. So there I am. I got this jack mag. I'm all happy, you know. It's like, maybe it's like midnight or something. I got the jack mag on one leg, and I got some toilet paper on the other leg, and I'm sitting there stroking away, and I hear the door open. Oh, so I started slow stroking, see what's going to happen here. And he walks by, and he goes to the showers, and I hear the shower turn on. All right, game on. I'm back at it, you know. And all of a sudden, the fucking curtain just flies open, and I'm sitting down. I got a jack mag, I got toilet paper, I got my dick in my hand, and it's that fucking Puerto Rican. But he didn't know. He didn't know I was in there. He just went to the bathroom because when he jerked it open, he's like, "Oh shit, Jesse!" And here I sit. I wasn't standing up, so I'm like sitting down. It makes my dick look smaller, you know. And I'm not like squeezing it out. So yeah, I'm like, "Oh my fuck!" The next day, I'm like, "Bro," he's like, "Dude, my bad." So then I tell my car, you know, I'm like, "Man, the fucking Puerto Rican got me jacking off last night." And then the next thing I know, I hear going around, Jesse got caught jacking off the Puerto Rican last night. I'm like, Motherfuckers. You son of a bitches. Yeah, so be careful of those jack mags in prison. There's very little places to go to enjoy it. I thought I was in a safe space, but
Yeah, I guess there's not.
no, there's
Go to
not many
think about it,
options.
I
I mean, you
mean-
go there or the chapel. I always felt weird going to the chapel, so
I hope so.
no, but I did have to check a guy. We didn't have we were just talking about this. We didn't have child molesters at the camp. You couldn't be a child molester and come to the camp. But we did have gay guys. So like sometimes you would hear it always be like one guy, you know, they wouldn't be out in the open gay, but you'd suspect that guy's gay. And then all of a sudden they get busted out by like the Indian smoke area. You know what I mean? Like we called this one gay guy Juggler because he just go out and juggle balls. So Juggler. And then all of a sudden we heard like Timmy got caught with fucking Juggler on a mattress out here by facilities. But I had this one black guy that was sweet on me. He would not quit following me around, dude. He would always just be like, "Oh, Jesse, you're so cute." And, you know, fuck, you're in prison. You're like, all right, keep going. What else you got, you know? So this dude's flirting with me all the time. And I'm like, I told him once, I'm like, dude, fucking stop. Okay, I was fucking around at first. I didn't know you were serious. But now that I see you're serious, like, quit flirting with me. So now I'm avoiding this black guy. Anytime I see him, I don't want to be around, you know. And he was gayer than a $2 bill. But I see him at Maxwell. I'm down by commissary coming up. I see him coming out of Montgomery. So I'm like, fuck, I'm going to cut over to the chapel. He ain't going to follow me into the chapel, right? So I go in the chapel. I go in the bathroom. I kind of had shit anyway, so I sit on the shitter. I'm sitting there, and I'll be damned if that fucking bathroom door didn't open. I flip my head down, look, and it's that motherfucker. I came out of there. I was like, listen, motherfucker, I'm about to beat your ass. You got to stop. I'm sorry. I was like, get the fuck away from me, dude. So even the chapel is not a safe space.
It should be. Yeah.
Never had that
I
happen.
just No, it never happened to me. I mean, I'm sure that it was always a possibility. No telling who's running around.
Yeah, they were going hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was the most common person to be on the bleachers?
I think they like me.
You talking about Lon?
They would be the biggest, the dude that was on the weight pile the most. Yada yada, they just tough.
The one's got the shaved legs and shaved arms. They're like, damn, motherfucker, he's ready.
Then
They're just being friendly.
brand new hits a compound.
Oh, yeah.
Low that night.
Dude, I tried
There's
to.
5 or 6 of them on the bleachers with this. They got fake tits.
Oh, yeah. Venus with
Yeah.
a penis. Is that where she
Yeah.
was? Was she over there with you?
We had a few.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
this-
they came.
Count.
Yeah.
Remember that one was like 6'5", 280
Shut the fuck
Oh,
up.
we had
in
a.
a mop bucket, shaving their legs.
Damn.
Swear to
Yeah,
God.
we weren't going that
Shoot,
hard.
listen, that's
We
the
had
one.
closet fags over
Right,
around
I-
us.
Just that later.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you right now.
Remember with
I-
Big Country?
Yeah.
He
I
ended up being a pedophile.
I would like to say I'm not scared to fight, but I would have been scared to fight that person because if I would have got whooped,
Oh, I
I would
know.
have never lived it
Oh, no,
down.
Country
Yeah.
got his ass whipped over
He
that.
did. Yeah, that big old
And he
thing.
was like riding this dude, riding every sex offender on the compound. This dude was like, yeah. Gets in a fight with this dude that they put as a celly that was shaving his legs like 6'5", fake tits, all this shit.
Right.
Like,
Wore him out.
yeah, fucked him up. And then he gets put in a shoe. Then the Miss McDonald
Yeah.
comes out and is like, well, here's his paperwork. The CO
Right.
came out and told his paperwork he's a fucking pedophile.
Yeah.
He
Damn.
got his ass beat by
He had a guilty conscience.
Yeah.
Damn, beat him up. I told my son that. I said, listen, man, you ever get in a fight with a gay guy, try not to, for one.
Right, because if you lose,
if you
it's
do
a lose.
Yeah, and they're fucking, they'll smack the shit out of you. You won't know it. They'll get your eyeball gouged out.
And
Then all of
don't
a sudden you got beat up by old sissy over there.
and don't fight a naked dude because they're gonna fight hard.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw that. Yeah, they ain't. They're already emasculated, like they're going down.
I'd twist his dick.
Yeah.
I would. Come at me naked, I'm twisting your dick.
Oh, they went at this dude naked in the shower, and he come
Oh,
out
wow.
fucking
Shit, yeah.
swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want no gay dude or naked dude coming at me, but
Mm-mm.
No, it's a lot.
Yeah.
we had one guy at Maxwell, and it was like this casino thing that went down in Alabama where like a bunch of embezzling or whatever it was, governors were involved, and this guy comes and they fucking held him down with the sheet and fucking smacked the shit out of him with the lock in his sock. And it didn't kill him, but it fucked him up real good. And they had the whole compound locked down. We all had to go through and talk. You know, do we know anything? Who's beating the hell out of this guy? And then we heard it was like $100,000 somebody had offered the Puerto Ricans. They fucking snatched that shit up. The little sissies got that lock and sock and come in there like fucking.
All they had to do was whoop him?
Well, they're probably supposed to do more than that. They beat him with a lock in a sock. But I mean, I guess, I don't know. He got his ass whooped, and the guy wasn't ever there again. And a group of Puerto Ricans that got caught, I mean, they knew who it was right pretty quick.
No, they probably knew before they started
Yeah.
asking. They just went through the process. There's plenty of people that'll tell you what's going on anywhere.
Yeah,
in
people
life,
like people like my old Sally sitting there just waiting.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, it was him.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, I thought we were buddies.
Yeah.
Did you get there right after the whole fire alarm thing?
That was right after. Literally right
That's
after.
when I left right after
Kobe.
that.
What was it? Kobe.
You took my spot for sure,
Kobe,
dude.
CO,
The black CO
and
Kobe.
What was
You had Blevins, Kobe,
Johnson?
Johnson.
Johnson's soft ass.
Yeah.
He was
They were
a
all
guy,
cool
you
though,
know.
dude. They were all cool.
Yeah.
Like me,
Who was the other one?
Born, yeah.
Warren.
Oh, Warren, yeah.
Oh, he was a. Oh,
Yeah, he was lieutenant, I think, wasn't he? Yeah, that's
all-
one that locked me up.
all high and
In his
tight
little
shit.
white shirt and shit, little skinny ass fucking dude.
And he was the backup, and Johnson was the good cop.
See, I
See,
had.
I got him as count. Johnson as counsel. I was talking last time too.
So hey, who all like famous people were we? So we had Rick. You know who like Freeway Rick Ross?
Dude,
like,
I just
real-
talked to him on the phone.
He is
Yeah.
with you guys?
Yeah, at Texarkana.
Yeah, I just talked to him. I got his number in my phone.
Yeah,
You want
I
to
mean,
talk to him?
I
I'll
don't.
call him up right now.
I wasn't like buddies with him, but he was there. Like I had no idea. Like
You had T.I. T.I. came there.
not when I was
Oh.
there. We had the mayor of New Orleans at the camp, Brett
Yep.
Negan.
We
Nate
had
Newton was at the
Cowboys.
we had a football player.
And then
at
the
Maxwell,
mob
Big
dude.
Jeff. What was
Jeff-
his? What did he
Jeff
play
Walker.
for? Eagles or something? Jeff Walker.
Saints.
yeah.
He played for the
They showed him-
Saints.
I should have invited him my way. His ass would have came.
Yeah.
Big cat.
Then we had Richard Scruggs, which was the only attorney to ever sue Big Tobacco and win.
We had
So-
Jesse Jackson Jr.
Ooh.
Son.
Okay, now you start trailing off like the whole professor high school. Yeah, we had Jesse Jackson Jr.'s son, his friend.
No, Jesse
So-
Jackson Jr., he was like a big politician wannabe.
Right.
Then he got in trouble for whatever. So they had their whole little Sharpton bullshit coming down there.
I was
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I was there, and Richard Scruggs is the only guy I've ever seen come into federal prison, be sentenced, go home for like a year during something, and then come back for another year. And I'm like watching all this in the news. It wasn't because he was telling. Like the dude just had that much money. They put him back on house arrest for like this piece of his. I don't know what happened. So Richard
But
Scruggs was
that's
there.
fine. Like
Yeah, they should.
you know what I mean? Like he didn't kill anybody.
He was like 85
Yeah.
too. I think that might have had something to do with it. He
Yeah,
was older
I
and
mean,
shit. But
Get
that,
some-
that dude had enough money that when his celly, his celly was like one of those guys that's always looking for the guy that's got a little money. Like he didn't have no money, but he was willing to work for it. But he was also kind of annoying because if you'd be like, go on, you're like the window washers, you know, like when you pull up to the stoplight. But his celly was one of those guys. So once he got this rich celly, he was hooked. Like he was making his dinner, you know, folding his shit. He was basically his butler.
I wasn't rich. I was
Yeah, and you had that. Yeah, but when he got out, Richard Scruggs bought him like 7 houses because his celly started studying real estate, and he's about to get out. And Richard bought him 7 houses to get started. Like his celly, you know, he bought a celly. So I'm like, damn, I'm sitting over here in H wing. Like, damn, I knew I should have been over there. Fuck, I should have washed those windows on that.
Yeah, I met some really successful people at the camp,
Yeah.
Texarkana, that, I mean, they've done what they can to help, but I just wanted to do my own. A lot of the stuff they do doesn't interest me. I'm not getting my hands dirty or anything. But we had a cellie that was in the New York Mafia, and like listed as when John Gotti was killed. Like if you were to look at reports, like he was
in the
one
reports.
that was taken over, which I have no idea. I
Right.
mean, read more about it after I got out than.
Could he cook?
Oh, dude.
Have that Italian
if
food
you wanted
going?
garlic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would have like 20 deals of garlic boiling at 5 a.m. before you would wake up. It was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how good people can cook, like fried rice. All that shit. You whip that fried rice up, put some sausage, a little cilantro in there, a little
But
bit
yeah.
of sriracha, all that shit. Damn, you make a fire little mix. But every time since I've been home, I've told my wife cooks dinner every night. And I'm like, she's like, you make dinner tonight. I don't know how to fucking cook. I can cook prison food. That's it. So I'm like, okay. So I go get a bunch of sausages, pickles. I chop all this stuff up, make a cold nacho, and it does not taste the same now as
No.
it did then. I make it up. I'm like, what was I thinking? That tastes like a bunch of pickles and cilantro and nasty shit. Like, but boy, in prison, that fried rice was so good.
Yeah, it was. And that's my thing. I mean, I can cook steaks and anything on the grill, but my expertise fails there. But my wife, she's
She's
a
a cook.
beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
We eat well, so I'll
Yeah.
just say that. I enjoy being home, and because when I'm out at work, 15, 16-hour days, doesn't leave much time
Right.
to do anything else. But
How often do you travel for work?
man, I came up to Pennsylvania, Ohio area back in July, so it's been about
Okay.
3 months. But we have equipment that they hadn't worked, so I come up to help out and just ran its course. Time to go back.
Are you looking for another job?
Oh no, no, I'm going back to Texas.
Okay.
Why?
We're always looking to hire.
Oh no, I don't want to move. I mean, it's
I
beautiful.
mean, I'm closer than Ohio.
It's beautiful here. No, but it's not close. Like all our kids and grandkids and my parents and my niece,
Oh,
we
yeah.
all live in the same town. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be hard pressed to
No,
pull me
that's
away from that.
what we've done with our company since I've been home is we started an excavation business, and now we're at a point where we've got like 5 pretty good sized jobs about to start. We got about 4 guys to do them, so
I mean, services are always for sale.
right. So
I'm
I mean, before you
never
pass
gonna
this,
say never.
before you
'cause,
pass this
you know,
up, you might want to.
I mean, I make about 150 a year now. If it was
Yeah.
300, I could afford to.
What about 155?
Company truck and free hotel.
Oh,
yeah, we could talk about it, but
Definitely not unheard of,
yeah,
is it, Ellie?
yeah, I'm all in all pretty fortunate, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, probably got the job originally because my brother-in-law and my stepkid's uncle, but I worked hard and
Right.
everything I've gotten since then is mine.
So what do you think about, well, I think it's just the 20s, so this question's kind of double-edged, but now that you're out, that's all behind you, and you look back at that lifestyle, do you think, what was I thinking, or how did I live that way? Or do you just, it's just part of life? Like, do you, see people
How did
now-
I live that way?
Well, like, I see people now doing it, and I think, how was I ever that, like, I see them, and I'm like, man, I was about to die. And I can't imagine ever doing that.
I hate to see when I can see it coming now.
Yeah.
For people, especially like friends with kids or
Right.
friends with or my parents' friends with their grandkids, and you can see it coming. But like I said, I
regrets.
mean, it was what it was. It was hard. Probably the hardest job I ever had. The time I put into it and all that, but probably the most irresponsible waste of time I
Right.
ever did. Wouldn't trade it because I wouldn't have what I have now.
Right.
So
Yeah, when I look back,
Probably needed the 12 years.
Yeah.
If I think about it, because I don't know. I mean,
without it, you wouldn't have. That's how I look back. Whenever I was clean for 4.5 years when I got indicted, but I wasn't doing nothing with my life. I was just kind of stagnant. I was, working maybe a boat factory job. I just wasn't doing anything. I'm making like $300 or $400 a week. I was probably wanting to get high.
yeah,
But now
just,
I don't want to get
just
high.
bar hopping.
Yeah, I wasn't doing much. But again, I was in my 20s, and them 20s are just. I mean, if you don't want to be a straight laced guy, then just party.
And
Was
I
my
wish,
recommendation because partying was pretty fun.
yeah, it was. I mean, I can point back some of my greatest memories, like most fun things I ever did were during that time, but also some of the worst.
Right.
Like I've been shot at, I've been robbed, I've had my house kicked in. Nothing fun,
Right.
But, you know, live and learn and made me tough and made me listen to my parents and made me listen to my grandparents and thankful for it in the end,
And
grateful that they didn't give me life
Right.
at this point because they could have.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I was glad to experience it because it was a whole like world inside of what we're used to. Like we just know our day to day of working and this and that.
But it shaped you, right? Like work ethic. Like
it did.
The first time I've ever looked at like being at a job that I was getting paid at Unicor, like what, 50 cents an hour tops. Like, oh, fuck this lazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
And
why
you
should
wanted
I
that
expect him to work for 50 cents an hour? But it was just funny how people looked at it, and it kind of shaped, how I was going to work when I got out. And
Unicor was one of those things, like you had to seek after it. You wanted to be in Unicor, especially where Maxwell. But like, so it is kind of strange to look at people that, typically didn't work on the street. And then they're like, man, I want to get in Unicor. And they start making that 50 cents. There's some working some bitches. They're folding the hell out of that.
Most of them were like, I didn't come to prison to work. Like state prison, when you had to go in the fields with guys with shotguns walking behind you, nobody wanted to go to work. Yeah. I did.
Right.
I wanted to get outside the gate and breathe. And
I
didn't care if I was picking peppers or doing whatever. Right. I would go do it for a few hours. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I ain't gonna say I enjoyed it, but I had a good job at the camp. Like we got to work even Saturdays and Sundays sometimes, so time flew.
And we had these two.
I had like almost $10,000 saved up when I left.
Damn, that's pretty good.
I wasted it all on a 350Z, but piece of shit.
50 cents an hour. Man, I got a lot of time in this 350Z.
Well, that's what I got. It's just what I'd always wanted. And
we had two guys.
My dad took me to get it the day I got out.
Really?
Yeah. We went and bought it, and I drove it home.
We had two guys from it wasn't from Enron, but it was like something like Enron. They were a gas company, and they lied on a survey. There were 16 co-defendants. Two of them, they didn't even lie on the survey. They just worked for the company. And they were like, I'm not pleading guilty and getting a felon. They're like, I'm going to trial. They both got 10 years. Other 16 or other however many co-defendants all got probation.
You can't fight them.
You can't fight them. And now these dudes are sitting in there like, holy cow, why did we not take that plea? Because they didn't want a felony on their record. Now they're 10 years and a felony. And they'd show me like pictures of their Porsches and stuff, and they're sitting in there, same level playing field as me. We can both spend $300 a month. We can, we get our 300 minutes and we get $300 a month, and which I spent a little extra on that black market. But but these guys,
that was my whole thing was with the black market. I just tried not to participate, but when the smartphones started coming out, I had to at least check it out a little bit. Hey, hold it to me out like that so I can see what you're talking about. Because they're like, yeah, you can text and got internet. And I'm like, what the fuck's the internet? I didn't even know what the internet was, to be honest with you. Like, it was all just new to me when I finally got home. And
So I
Kinda
see
cool.
I see videos like on TV and or on TikTok or whatever, and these guys have all got phones in prison, but it looks like they're not hiding it. Like when we had phones in prison, it was like so secret. We hid that way more than cigarettes, and I only knew like one guy that had a cell phone, and
At the camp, I knew a few.
I think you got Facebook now.
Well, they
now at
actually,
the camp they let them have phones and
Yes.
Facebook. Shut
Yeah,
up! If
they-
you give me phone,
Not phones, but Facebook.
you give me Facebook and a tablet or something, lock me up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fucking hanging out, dude. I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna steal chicken out of the cafeteria, and I'm on Facebook, scroll like a motherfucker, happy as hell.
Yeah, that spank match.
Yeah, I'll be stopping.
Got
Yeah.
Google on this thing.
yeah, it was a lot of that was new, which was kind of cool when I got home. So,
I went from Maxwell to Elmore County Jail, and at Maxwell you couldn't have a vape or anything, And I get to Elmore County Jail, and they've got all these they look like a cigarette, and it was a vape. I think they cost like $15 on commissary, and I'm like, you're shitting me. I ordered up like 2 of them. I'm sitting there I was like, you're telling me you sent me over here for punishment and you can vape? And I'd never even heard of a vape, but boy, I was getting a nicotine buzz off of whatever that was.
right.
And then I had a guy come in right when I got to Elmore. You know about Elmore County Jail. It was brutal. It was nasty.
I was gonna say Elmore was
It
without
was
reputation.
brutal, and I was there
Like,
for a
it's-
solid.
Jesse, I'm like, where the hell Jesse go? Because I didn't know you. Like you said, we had never met, but I knew
Right,
of you, and I knew you were from here.
right.
And like, then Jesse just
Jesse-
025. That's our state number.
Yeah,
I'm like,
07.
Jesse just got shit. He's at Elmore County. I'm like,
Dude, I sat at Elmore County for a minute. I was there for so fucking long, for a good 4+ months. Usually you go into Elmore County the whole, and you're there for like 4 weeks. No, dude, people would come and go and come and go, and I'd be sitting there still like, what are they doing to me? Because they had like OSI and CSI or whatever, the Air Force investigators. They were both coming over, and I was talking to a girl in the Air Force, and I had pictures of her in my locker. And I remember that guy come over, and they thought I was in the hole, but there was no air conditioner here either. So it's like 120 something degrees in this cell. I remember I'd get completely naked, and I'd hold that fucking stainless steel toilet like this. I'd bear hug it, and I'd flush it because it'd go cold. when
Yeah,
you
it goes
flushed
cold when you flush.
And I'm just sitting there like, I'm hotter than hell. And the lieutenant, little sweet black lady, she starts, buttering her up a little bit, and she slide me in Gatorade coolers full of ice. So now I'm like chomping on ice. And then she tells me, she's like, what are you in here, baby? And I'm like, it's just for love. I was like, it's just love. And she's like, well, I'm not going to let them kill you on my watch. She's like, this is my jail, and they're going to kill you in here. It's too hot. There's no fans. I was like, all right. So she starts letting me out into the day room where there's fans at least. So when Blevins, our investigator, whatever he is, OSC or whatever the fuck it is, and the Air Force investigator come over, they think I'm still in the cell, but really I'm out hanging out, I'm fucking chopping it up, playing chess and shit. And they come over and they're like playing good cop, bad cop. And the Air Force investigator's like, she's facing 20 years. She was on my core link. She's on my visiting list. It was a mess. And he slid her picture over to me. And he's like, you know this girl? And I'm like, I look and I'm like, obviously. And we had this stupid ass story about how we knew each other from high school. We were going to say if we got caught. But I'm like, obviously I know her. And he's like, you ruined this girl's life. She's facing 20 years. They had her arrested too. And they're like, she's facing 20 years. How do you feel about that? And I was kind of in the prison mindset still. I mean, I've been in this hole for a minute now. I'm kind of tired of fucking with them. I came here with a Chuck Liddell mohawk. I had a Chuck Liddell mohawk when they took me there. I remember telling Blevins, like, dude, you're not going to send me in there with a Chuck Liddell mohawk, are you? It was me and 26 black guys. He was like, have fun. I was like, all right, here we go. But he turns that picture. He's like, you were in this girl's life. How's that make you feel? And I said, buddy, I let my mom, my wife, and my son down. What makes you think I give a fuck about her? And they looked at me like I was just the devil. They were just shaking their head like, I was like, yeah, man, get her out of here. Get me on to the next spot.
but they knew, though. That was your detail.
But, well, actually,
Well, I mean,
what had
I just
happened?
heard I heard when I got there.
what had happened is I said I didn't give a shit. I said, what makes you think I give a fuck about her? But then my mom at the time was already in cahoots with, in prison you can talk. Like me and my mom, I'd be like, hey, the bag of chips come yet? And she's like, no, the bag of chips is not arrived. But like she knows what the fuck we're talking about. And the Air Force gave her a lawyer. So she's telling me the girl, she did good. She stayed quiet. I stayed quiet. We didn't say nothing. And she ended up just losing rank and not getting kicked out. And I had to spend 8 months in total because I was at Elmore for 4. Then they sent me to Atlanta, which was brutal, man. Because like I had commissary once I got there, and I'd been there for a few weeks. It was
so you were a criminal in prison?
Yeah,
all
it
right.
was bad.
I thought like maybe you were saying in the military because you kept saying Air Force. I'm like,
No, it's at an Air Force base.
all right. Oh, so you corrupted a
So we were
real
working
soldier.
Yeah, I did.
By the fire.
She was my boss.
Yeah, I'm
And,
sure they're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, every one of them. The Air Force, don't go to Maxwell Air Force Base if you're in the Air Force, because you're gonna get. If you're a girl, you're gonna get fucked by an inmate, and if you're a guy, you possibly may get fucked by an inmate. So try not to go there; it's bad. But yeah, so no, I ended up in Atlanta, and that was brutal because I had commissary. So I'd get a new cellie. He'd come in for like 3 days. Well, I'm not gonna sit there and eat. I'm eating all my food, and I don't know how much I went through there, but they'd be like, "Oh, I'll get you back." Then they'd disappear, and I'd just sit there, and you'd hear. They did have cockroaches. You would have to stuff the bottom of the doors for fucking rats and shit. Because if not, you'd wake up and you'd hear your commissary bag rattling around, shit getting in there, getting at mice and rats, whatever they are. Big things with tails that run around and go under your door.
Was it like
Yeah.
a downtown facility or something?
Are you talking about Atlanta?
Where you're talking? Yeah.
Atlanta was like, it's the transfer hub there in Atlanta. It's got, Atlanta, it's a maximum.
So I mean, it's like
It's a maximum.
It goes up.
Well, I couldn't tell. So when we drove in on the bus, like we go under, you come in a tunnel, but when you get in there, the walls are so tall you don't see nothing but sky.
Just
You know
like
what I mean?
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, it sucked. Like I got in there and it was like 30-foot brick walls, and there was not a tree or nothing. You just see up and see sky. And then they kept me there forever. I got designated finally to Yazoo, and then Yazoo's full. And they called the bus, and it was so much that they took me out of my cell and took me into the little holding room like I'm going. And everybody went, and then they took me back to my cell. And I was like, man, I was ready to get out of here. But it worked out because that's when I got designated to Morgantown.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
I finally got through all that. And then I was short timing because I've been in the hole for 8 months, And so then I get to the next spot. Well, this spot's more strenuous. If you want to work out, you got to be in a car on a slot. So like at Maxwell, you just go work out whenever the hell you wanted. Well, nobody's going to put you in their car if you got, a year or anything like that, 6 months. All the cars and all the slots were full. Yeah, so I come in, I'm like, shit, I got like 7 years left, boys. I got in a car, worked out for like 6 months, 8 months, whatever it was. And then got the hell on out of there.
See, we never had to deal with that. We just kind of did what we wanted. I mean, we would go work out some and not.
We just
And,
have to check it. You don't have a job at the low unless you want one.
Okay.
right. Yeah.
So you had to have a job at the camp, I think.
We didn't.
You
Yeah.
have a job. You had to be somewhere.
Remember when I raked the softball field and they used to all get mad at me because I wouldn't spray it with water enough? Like, they'd want to fight. Like,
Yeah, we just had to go check in. If you
Yeah.
had a job at Rick, unless you wanted to actually go do some shit,
Right.
you just go check in the morning. You're good
Yeah.
all day.
go do your
Go on
thing.
the rec yard the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'd walk
Yeah.
around, do pull ups.
I remember my
You were-
first week at, I can't remember all the names, at Montgomery. And they got me up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm going to try to sleep this off. Fuck no. 7 o'clock, 6:30, whatever. They wake me up. They want me to make my bed. And then whatever my counselor's name was, had me down scrubbing the damn baseboards and like waxing the floors. And I was so happy to get a job and get the
I
hell
don't
away
think-
from him.
We didn't even have to get up in the morning if we
You just
didn't
pay
want.
somebody to clean your room.
Yeah. We'd pay.
You obviously make your bed, not on the weekends.
Yeah, we just had to
That's how
tuck
we
our
were.
sheets in and do
Yeah.
whatever. But
tuck your corners.
Tuck your
Yeah.
corners Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends you could keep it messy,
Yeah.
which was always nice. You're like, fuck,
Yeah, watch
I'm sleeping a
football
little
and-
It was the same, other than
it's
you just check in.
the
Right.
same.
And by the time you've been there 2-3 years,
It's you're just
you're
used to
just
it.
like, yeah, I don't gotta fucking check in no more. You know, it's
Right.
Yeah, it's the same
I
kind of.
went to a lot. I did a lot. I did a lot of classes and shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I got a fucking abs class certificate,
yeah.
dude. I got, how many do I got, Lisa? 2? I think I got advanced abs
I got
class.
like 40.
Was it with Jason Slaughter? Did you go to Montgomery?
No, he did it
I
at
did all my stuff
Texarkana.
in Texas.
Okay.
By
yeah.
the time I got there, I was already ab certified.
Yeah, you're abs certified. You're walking around like shit, boys.
that-
Pop that top.
That bed making schedule. That's what I.
No, me and this fool, listen. Me and this dude right here, we got our abs together. That's no lie. We done so many fucking sprints and eating every day
Oh, yeah.
together. Tuna, mackerel.
Same shit
Oh, yeah.
at the
That
same
mackerel.
time.
Have you tried
all
mackerel
kinds of
since you've been home?
protein,
I would
no
not.
bread.
Dude, I got mackerel in the house. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's eat a mackerel.
Out
They're
of the pack?
nasty. Yes,
I
I got
don't
a
think I
straight
could
pack
do
of
it.
mackerel in there.
That's Melissa.
I haven't tried it. I opened one and I smelled it. I was like, throw that shit away.
Nah, that's.
I used to drain that oily.
I would
ass
put it
nasty
in
juice.
beans when I was a kid.
too, because I'd open it and throw it in my brown rice
Yeah,
and cook it. And,
I'd
you know,
eat
you
at
put it in the
least-
microwave. It works.
I'd eat at least 2 to 3 mackerel a day.
Oh,
At least.
We
in
did.
Peanut butter.
And tuna and rice.
he ain't a
And,
little dirtier than me because he ain't got the same kind of metabolism I do. But
Right.
yeah, me and him sprints.
yep.
Sprints,
Oh, yeah.
sprints,
We did that.
sprints,
Hill
fucking
sprints.
Work out. Abs.
That's all we did.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Yeah.
I had
I
a-
liked,
Fucking got us there. Fuck.
Yeah.
I liked working out.
20 fucking
Right.
spread it for dude eating fucking 150 fucking grams of protein a day is all I could eat.
How long did it take you when you got home to fall off that?
It
Plan.
long.
Not long.
Nah,
I
it was-
did
Then I
it.
got back.
I got to that halfway house and I was driving out in the city. I was like, fucking McDonald's. I whipped in that bitch. I was like, give
Yeah, I
me a
didn't-
Big Mac.
I didn't do that. Like I said, I worked nights, so I would get up at lunch and I'd go to the gym for 2 or 3 hours and
Right.
I didn't have a life outside of what I was doing, but that's what it was probably needed for a while. But
Right.
yeah, as soon as met the future wife and kind of switched schedules, but I kept working out. I was a trainer. Like I got certified through
Oh, yeah.
NASM and did all that. I had 5 or 6 people I would train.
I mean, I'm telling you,
Shit ton
Lisa,
of
these two
jobs.
guys were sitting in this 10 by 10 cell, like Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
Doing this shit.
Well, we couldn't because our Italian fucking
Oh, yeah.
cellmate was boiling garlic in there, and you couldn't breathe in the motherfucker. But other than that, that or you didn't want to look up and see Billy in the
Right.
Top
Decks to
bunk.
cards. We used to do decks to cards.
Teen mom or some shit.
We used to get a deck of cards and we'd make like burpees or queens, you know, sit-ups or king or not queens, but like hearts by the suit. And then we'd flip over a card. All right, 10 burpees if we got a 10, you know, and just sit there and go through a deck of cards. And I counted up, it's like 300 of whatever each.
yeah.
And that'd be our type of workouts. We do like CrossFit, high intense
See,
shit.
that's what
just-
I like. I like the CrossFit type stuff. Just
Yeah, we did too.
you know,
We work out
Any
on the
kind of
weight pile,
compound-
but that
compound
CrossFit on the
exercise.
weekends is good.
that's what we did. Yeah, I used to do sets of 20 on deadlift at 325, just cause.
Right?
Like why?
You're back feeling it now.
No, it felt it then, and now I probably can't deadlift at all anymore.
Right,
I just
no.
stay away from it, but
We got a gym downstairs, and my comfortable weight was 225. Like I went up to 3. I got
that
Three-
would be mine on bench, squat, anything.
That's what I
Probably
done too.
225.
225 is where I would
just
hang.
do more reps at
And
that
then I
point.
would max out at like I think my max was on bench was 305. I never got 315. I got 305.
Same.
And then but I could rep 225. And I remember that first time. I remember the first time I benched 135 and I put that fucking 45-pound plate on there. I was like, shit, boys. But then 225 was my number. And every time I'd try to go up, I'd hurt something. So I just stuck benching, squatting, deadlifting, 225. Just stay there because I could rep it and it wouldn't hurt me.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, especially as you start getting older.
But now if I grab 225, I'd pick up like one end of it. And be like,
I mean, you would get back up
I could
to
probably
it,
still
but
do the deadlift, but the chest, the benching's not where I was.
yeah.
I tried it the other day.
I
with
would
my
rather
friend.
just do dumbbells and do a bunch of reps and
Yeah,
be good with that.
I've got a 15-year-old son that's playing football, and like a year ago he was just weak as shit. And we got a gym downstairs, and now he's been working out. So I'm like, let me show you something, old boy. And I throw a 185 on there, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, help me get it up. Help me get it up.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, Dad.
He should've-
Quit. You're embarrassing me.
Should have slammed it down and said $20 allowance.
Yeah. That's why I quit working out. When I got home, this my sister's husband, who's an idiot, we're all going up to the gym uptown, and I'd see him in there, and I'm like, whatever you bench, I'll bench 100 pounds more. Well, he finally hits 175. So I had benched 305 not long, like 3 months before this, for one, with nobody touching it, you know. So I'm like, I can do 275. That's all right. And I didn't warm up or anything. Put 275 on there, lay back. I come down and I get it like right here, and my wrist is like that. Well, I went to like straighten out because to get that push, I was just right there at racking it, you know. And then my fucking arms went like that, and 275 came right down on my chest, dude. And it hurt like it made the worst sound. I bet it made me this big when it hit me. Oh, it popped. So I didn't, and what's bad is I was like telling these guys, because they're all like over me, gonna spot me. I'm like, get the fuck back. If I need you, I'll set it down and you can come grab it. You know, it's not gonna.
If it's on your stomach, you need help.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, you're not
it
getting
hit me. I mean, I was like this. I just dropped 275 basically like this, just straight down. And my instant reaction, however the hell it happened, is I racked it to get it off me. And I sat up and I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. And my brother's like, we got to go to the doctor, dude, because my brother was with me. And this cop comes over that was working out next to us, and he's like, you just broke something. I heard it crack. And I was like, I'm good. Don't call the cops. I'm on parole or whatever. I didn't want, no dealings with the cops. So I left. I ended up in the Heron Hospital. I went to the emergency room, and it just like, I thought I had a punctured lung because it was like gurgling when I was breathing. So they said, they're like, you're just a pussy. Go home.
Sometimes that's not a bad statement
Yeah.
to hear. Like, I would appreciate being told that sometimes when I bitch about work or whatever.
Right.
My wife will tell me that. Like, quit being a bitch. Like, just go to work. What are
Right.
you?
See, I'm usually the opposite. I'm saying that to my wife. I'm joking. I'm joking. I love my wife. She works all the time.
I have no comment, and I doubt that. But yeah, I definitely have had those instances.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, sharing
Yes, sir.
your story.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's fun. Teddy's old Selly, which Teddy we're gonna have on soon. I know you guys don't know Teddy, but he's the guy that's been talking the past couple episodes in the background. He'll make an appearance soon enough.
I'm coming.
He's coming. But Chris was his cellmate from
Texarkana.
Texarkana. He's from Texas. I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story.
Yes, sir.
And just inspirational stories of just because you're there at one point don't mean you'll always be there. He's got a family. He's got a good job. He's got good friends. Just because you're in the streets, doesn't mean you're stuck there.
It's always a better way.
Yep. So
100%.
check back next time. Reckless Success. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. You can follow us on TikTok and YouTube at reckless.success. Instagram at reckless success. We're on Spotify and all major podcast services. Hit that subscribe button, please. For more information on May Excavating, check out our website or TikTok. That's a wrap. Thanks.